All right. So this edition of Hurricane Review follows their 3-1 loss to the Colorado Avalanche. And, I'm not panicked or anything, but it is not a great sign that Carolina's now lost 3 or 4 games. This is clearly a rough spell at this point in the season, I feel like. And, it's tough to say what the issue is, other than the fact that I think all three lines generally are playing well, but the problem is only two are producing offensively right now, and that's Aho, Natchez, and Svechnikov. Brindamore made the switch with those lines. I like it. And then right now, the second best offensive line is our defensive line, which is Jordan Stahl, Martinuk, and Foss. Those guys played well. They get the point tonight. And if Svech and Aho don't have a good game, Svech, Aho, and Natchez, I should say, which surprises me, but Natchez pleasantly proving me wrong this season. When those three guys don't have a good game, we don't win. Because tonight they had a weak game, they were playing sloppy. And, honestly, I got to call out players now. Jarvis, Kokaniemi, and before he got injured, Teravainen. Where are you guys? It's been slow for you guys all season. Jarvis had a couple good games in October, but he's been relatively silent recently at this point in the season. Nason stepped up on the power play, but where are Kokaniemi and Jarvis? Jarvis is a good player, and I've liked the way Jarvis has played at certain points. Kokaniemi, he gets points, but I think that was more because he was playing with Natchez and Svech, who are two of the most white-hot players in the NHL right now. So, I mean, it's tough to say with those two guys, like where are they? Where's that line? Nason's played well. I mean, he's mostly in special teams. However, he's played well enough, and the fourth line, they're just kind of getting in there and they're playing gritty hockey. Now, one thing you could blame the refing or whatever. The thing is with bad officiating, as much as I do think the refing sucked, we did get a few missed calls, but it's Stahl got hit from behind. It wasn't called. Svechnikov got a penalty off a super clean hit. He hit him from the side into the boards. He wasn't even 3 feet from the boards. And it didn't get called. I don't know. And it got called a penalty. And as much as it sucks, they failed to kill it off. Granted, it was a fluke bounce. So, like, that goes a wash, whatever, that happens. But then they failed to recover on the power play when they legit got power plays or score a goal. Like they've scored one 5-on-5 goal with the third line, but other than that, they failed to score more than one goal this game. They failed to score more than one goal. And I'm not being ranty, it's just it's just I'm kind of spelling out my frustration. The power play regressed. The power play was looking to get better. I was actually complimenting the power play the past few games where they were getting a power play goal a game. And, they looked good in the first period power play. And second one onward, it looked like the Hurricanes' power play of old, where they weren't getting nothing, they weren't getting the clean break-ins, they couldn't even if they won the face-off, they weren't really getting chances. So it's tough. The Canes regressed a little bit. It's a rough patch in November. It's not the end of the world. We're still winning close to a 2-to-1 ratio, even with losing 3 out of 4 games. And so it's there, but the signs are there. The power play has regressed, so I gotta watch that again to make sure to comment on the Canes power play again, whether it's producing or not. The three players we rely on, Natchez, Aho, and Svechnikov, when they're not there, we're not winning games. And I don't blame them for that losses because they've won games for us. They've won basically all 9 of our games prior for us. So you can't be mad if they cost us a couple games. If they weren't producing, then I would be saying it. But they're producing for the most part, which is why we're winning games. But when they're not, we need other guys to step up like Jarvis and Kotkaniemi. And right now, Nason, because Nason's also in the top 6. It can't just be Jordan Stahl, Martinuk, and Fost occasionally. Because newsflash, Jarvis at least has more skill than those guys. So I would say Carolina needs to trade for a center, but they've committed to putting Kakaniemi as the second line center this year. So he needs to step up. It's the way of things are right now. The Canes have committed, front office have committed to Kakaniemi. So Kakaniemi needs to step up. It's just that's how it is. And yeah, so that's it for this one. Carolina's got a game against Chicago. They're going to Chicago. It should be it could be a trap game, but it should be a good way to follow it up with a win. You don't want to get on the losing streak. I think the game against Chicago isn't a must win, but the one after Chicago would be a must win. To get back on the right track. I get it, teams are streaky, but you can't be losing 3 games in a row and 5 games in 6 games. You just can't. So I think Carolina should win that game. I think it's an important win, but it's not a must win yet. But we're approaching must win territory for, I would say, the second time this season. So yeah, that's it for this one. If you guys like the content I'm producing on the channel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Oh, and Hurricane of the game, I'm going to give to Ranta. I thought he played well. So no, actually not Ranta. Brett Pesce wins Hurricane of the game this game. I thought Brett Pesce had a really good defensive game. Think he stood out for the Hurricanes' best player on the ice. So that's it for this one. If you guys like the content I'm producing on the channel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Click the bell to be notified when I upload. And comment down below what you guys thought about this game. So I'll see you guys for when is it? I'll see you guys Monday for Carolina versus Chicago.